Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of Shokugeki no Souma, Sara Toutsuki Ressha-hen, or you can call it Food Wars, the third plate, second course, etc. Anyways, this is on episode 5. This episode right here was actually pretty good, really slick, and took my time watching it, etc. because took a lot of screenshots here and there, and it wasn't really easy. Not to mention, like I said, when it comes to certain matches like this one, I tend to take more time watching it and understand what just happened here and there. We had to it that Hayama ends up telling someone that he will suffer a far worse defeat than he ever did. And of course, Yukihira, on the other hand, says, well, knowing that you're part of Central and you are having to be part of a goal that you want to get to, you should be having more fun, no? What's up? We have to it that Hayama explains to Souma that I'm not here to have fun. I'm here for June, which signifies Hayama's reasoning. Those of you guys who are anime onlys, never read the manga, and has always been like anime only and wonder why Hayama went onto Central's side and guess that it has to do with June, obviously, because what else will be the reason for Hayama, etc., you know? And that is proven correct. And we had to it that when that Kuja senpai, or should I say, what the hell is this guy's name? Oh man, dude, I can't believe I've forgotten his name that bad. All I know is he was like a former of the Elite 10, like I said. Kuja senpai, yes. Was just trying to like ask you, Kuga. Forgive me. My gosh, I don't know why I say Kuja. What the hell is wrong with me? We had to it that he goes like, why didn't you challenge it to a Shokugeki? What's up with that? And someone's like, I understand that I'm supposed to do that, whatever he's saying, but there's something else that's bothering me. He eventually ends up meeting Dojima senpai in the bath and ends up having some talk with him. We eventually get to find out that the Shiomi research group got shut down, apparently. And we have to it that the reason being is like Hayama's associates, or should I say partnerships, got terminated by Azami. And of course Hayama ends up like talking to freaking like Azami about this, and he goes like, I want you to join Central. If you do that, I'll provide you with a better facility that could go well for your research group. And Hayama's like, you could F off, man. I am not interested. And we have to that Azumi has his documents here that's very important, and this really upsets Hayama. It says, return those to me right now. A man like you does not have the right to put your hands on those. And we have to that Azumi gives him a deal. Like, if you join Central and become part of the Elite 10 and do as I say, I will help you, etc., with everything you've got. But if you even defeat anyone in a Shokugeki, etc., and save the research group, it's still in a bad position because all your partnerships just got terminated. And this puts Hayama at a position where he had to make a choice. He could win the research group and let it live, but the way how it is right now, it's not going to go anywhere. So that's why Hayama made the choice to join the Elite 10 and join Central to help out June, etc. Of course, Kuga was really upset about this and see Azami as a dirty scumbag for doing that. And we had to it that someone tries to confront Hayama and understands what he has to do when he talked about his checkpoint. And we had to it that Soma dresses up and confronts Hayama about this and tells him, I understand the burden you're holding right now, and this is your reason why? And Hayama's like, yeah, what other reason do I have is there? And we had to it that Soma's like, quit looking down at me, moron. And we have to it that Hayama's like, I don't care what your actual reasons are, I'm here to get revenge against you, not freaking like for some other stupid reason that you want to do, alright? And Hayama's like, can you stop it with your immature, childish games right now? What the hell would you know? And we had to it that Soma's like, that research group, wasn't it important to you? Let me tell you something. And you didn't even bother having to like try to fight for the survival of the group. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm not gonna get my butt handed to a loser like that who never tried. And we have to it that Hayama gets really upset and says, "You want to get your butt handed that badly? Okay then, no problem. I'll hand it to you on a silver freaking platter. Let me show you true defeat, etc." Blah, blah, blah. And we have to it that the day of the exam, we have to it that Souma gets a call from Alice right now, and she gets really upset to knowing that Hayama really betrayed them. And she says, like, we're all going to survive, and give Hayama a major bad lecture about this. And Souma's like, yeah, thank you for that. And we had to it that Megumi and Aldini-kun are like going up against Rindo-senpai, which is pretty bad. While the other people, the rebels, are going up against the other members of the Elite 10, which shows that they're already in sockets, in bad world sockets, or they're in the pinch right now. Because these guys are not to be undermined at all. They have to give all they got, or it's death. And we have to it that Erina thinks about the rebels and says, I can only put my faith in these guys as best as I can, you know? That's all there is to it. We had to it that Hayama and Souma reached their destination of their arena duel. And we had to it that there's two people, three judges here. One of these are two kids, which is Berta and Scylla, of course, which Kuga's like, are you sure these guys are really, like, worthy? Because we get to see them, like, cheer on Hayama and go like, oh, we're gonna go for the handsome guy. Yo, I hope you win. La, 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 la. I'm thinking in my mind, oh, boy, here we go. I saw this in the manga part, and I go like, oh, my lord, man. Talk about some funny stuff here and there. And we see to it that these two are actually handpicked by Nakuri Leonora, which is apparently, you know, like, Alice's mother, of course. And we had to it that these two girls are not to be undermined because their taste and their knowledge, physiology of brains or something is actually pretty strong. And we had to it that Kuga was not agreeing with this, and they end up messing with his face and hair, etc., which is really funny. I mean, in the anime version, it's much more hilarious because they not only messed up his face but his hair at the same time. In the manga version, they tried to like pinch his cheek and go like, "How dare you call me shorty," etc. You know? Okay, enough of me making comparisons. We have to it that our third judge is Nakuri Soe, which apparently is the founder of Nakuri International himself, and apparently Erina's, let me see here, uncle, yeah, and of course Alice Chan's father. And we had to it that like the girls are still messing with Kuga right now. He goes like, is this guy like really worthy too? And we had to it that the Nakuri relative tells Kuga like, don't worry, I am judging fairly. If it's against my own daughter, I would judge fairly. And he ends up saying he has a doting personality, saying he loves his wife but he loves his daughter at the same time, you know? And we had to it that the bear meat shown to them is actually perfect for them to go all out against each other, which is a good thing because I like the fact of how things are for the time being, and it's gonna get really tense from here on out. We had to it that Hayama is already having to chop up the meat and along with large chunks, using and coating them with like puree of garlic, ginger, and onion apparently. And we have to it that he's trying to tenderize the meat with marinade or something. And he's also making batter from eggs and starch, etc., and using oil, so he's gonna fry it. And we have to it that Hayama explains about fried chicken is having a long history in America and in the South, you know? He plans to like serve a dish that's appropriate for this venue, and fried chicken with bear meat right now. Even Kuga realizes that he's going for the kill. We have to it that like Kuga is wondering to himself right now, like, if Hayama could actually concentrate the bear's umami within the batter, he'll create the ultimate dish that'll knock your brains out. But there's a flip side to it. If he botches the removal of the gaminess from the meat, all the unpleasant flavors will be trapped within the batter. So it's like a pretty risky move for Hayama. It's like Dojima Senpai is like saying, will it become umami or smelliness? That all depends on the situation. It's like 50-50 shot for Hayama. And we had to it that Hayama is not going on the plane defensive. He's going all out for the offensive close fighting quarters. Even like Alice's father is like saying he really has a lot of confidence to do that. And not to mention, he believes he can control every single aspect of the ingredient. While Souma himself is like doing his dish. He remembers what Kuga told him. Kuga tells Souma, like, the smell that may be totally fine when out in the open can turn into an unpleasant odor in a more confined space. Not only that, we have to it that Souma remembers the hunter's words by saying, if you can't take advantage of the smell that remains, that means you're just a bad chef. And we had to it that, like, Souma remembers, like, Kuga Senpai's and the hunter's word of advice, and knows that Souma has to take full advantage of the bear's flavors. If he does, and that means he has to tap into the bad odors of the bear dish. So this is like Souma's only chance. It's either he does this kind of risk that's gonna possibly cost him the match, or he does not stand a chance against Hayama. So pretty much what Souma's doing, he's pretty much gonna take a dangerous gamble that could cost him the match. So that's, but we all know Souma does these kinds of things anyway, and the results are really like exquisite or crazy. And we had to it that Souma and Hayama decides to go for a freaking like fried dish, and apparently there are like two boxes going against each other. And we see to it that that Souma himself is trying to combine certain meats here and there, and it goes out from like the loin, boned rib, round and fatty, and the lean meat, etc., into ground meat, and he's trying to like season it with like schisandra, onion, and salt. And we have to it that, like I said, if someone misses it, makes one misstep, it's game over. And we have to, he says he has to stay sharp and give out the best hand he can offer. And we have to it that Yukihira is doing the pouring of the bear broth into the meat, etc. And we have to it that he's adding essential flavors that's already strong wild flavor. And we have to it that, like Dojima says, you can't help but get drawn in by these two, Hayama and Souma, because the intensity of this match is very, very strong. Like, these guys are like saying one misstep or anything that they're doing right now, it's going to be self-destruction. Like, that's about it. And we have to it that they're up in the tightrope of flavor and fragrance, but Hayama has the great advantage of it because he's the expert of it. And we have to it that Hayama brings out his Kanjun spice blend and apparently is actually working well. And he's making a sauce with it, and Hayama's like, don't focus on me right now, Yukihira. You better focus on yourself for the time being or you're dead. And we had to it that Scylla and Berta are pretty surprised right now, and says like the tipperness and faintness is like a freaking cortex and an aid relationship or something. And we have to it that Kuga realizes that the core component that the fragrance Hayama is using is actually Genevieve. And of course, like Souma's like, Genevieve, what's that? And we have to it that Scylla and Berta explains to Souma that juniper berries that's been used in Egypt ever since back in the ancient days. And we have to it that that the astringency of the pine ricin and the fragrant sweetness and some spiciness of it too. It's also like a thickened bear broth with flour and milk, then season the sauce with it that Hayama explains, and then he adds the spices for the fragrance, and then add the spice, and then like but bada bing bada boom, he ends up making a terrifying smell, and he ends up having gravy to the fried bear here and there. Even right now, Scylla and Berta are like really surprised and saying, you know, something complex and fragrant like is really kind of like tasty. And Hayama decides to give them a taste, and they end up actually being like drawn to it to a point that they got domesticated. Like the juniper berry spiciness is spraying throughout her body, and masculine aggressive flavor, schooled by enthralling fragrance, and they are, yes, like I said, domesticated. And we have to it that even Dojima goes like, just one sip of a sauce of Hayama's curry or something, that is just like, wow, dude. He's able to subjugate them. And we have to it that Yukihira is finishing his sauce too, along with frying it. And we have to it that Yukihira Souma's thinking in his mind, like, you know, it's so strange. Thinking back, you know, I lost to Hayama so many times in the freaking, like, the rounds whatsoever, the autumn elections, etc. And we have to it that Souma was thinking in his mind, if I didn't lose to you, Hayama, I would not be the chef where I am today. And we have to it that Kuga says that he's improved the hamburger he tested earlier by adding the breading, etc. And he's actually able to further concentrate and strengthen the bear's flavors. And it's into a minced meat cutlet. Excuse me. And we have to it that Souma finishes his dish and presents it to the three judges, Scylla, Berta, and Alice's father, etc. And he says, this is the best bear dish I could come up with. So we had to it that Berta and Scylla are actually pretty surprised about this, but they go like, you know, the essence of the fatty acids and making my visual optic nerves really happy right now. And we had to it that someone's like, hey, Hayama, I'll make yours right before you try it. Just let me know when you have a minute to spare, alright? Even Hayama could only just like ignore him and just focus on his dish for the time being. And we had to it that Berta, Scylla, and Alice's father, or Soedono, is about to try it out. And we have to it that even Dojima's thinking in his mind, like, what was your own wager, Yukihira Souma? And we had to it that he asked him, like, how did you do on your tightrope walk across not letting any flavors escape while not permitting unpleasant odors? We had to it that Scylla and Berta is actually really excited, but they say, like, what if it's really gammy inside or something? And we had to it that Alice's father goes like, can I have a napkin, please? And he ends up grabbing it, and we had to it that, like, it's just impolite, but Soma's like, no, not at all. This is actually the best way to eat a minced meat cutlet, honestly. And we had to it that Soma's like, go ahead and have a bite. And we had to it that, like, he ends up having a bite, and Scylla and Berta decides to join in too. And Scylla and Berta are actually consumed by it and says, what is this? They go like, oh, this is so good. The sweet and strong meat juices explode in your mouth, etc., you know? And the umami is enough to rattle your brains, etc. And they even say the sourness, bitterness, sweetness, spiciness, and saltiness, the scasandra's various flavors are converting the bear's gaminess into umami in a balanced way. They say, like, that this is getting slapped by a richness of flavor, etc. Even Alice's father's like, so, this is a watershed between the two extremes of flavor, the best and the worst. Not to mention, Alice's father did mention to Souma that he actually made a terrifying, dangerous gamble because what Souma used was actually the meat that's close to the bone, and that was really, really risky, as he explains it, because apparently the closer the meat is to the bone, the more gammy its flavor is. And that is where it got dangerous for Souma, like I said, because he was actually using the meat close to the bear's bones right there, and having to use it that close and making one misstep would have cost him everything. And we had to it that, like, what Souma did was actually the tendency of a pronounced meat of the wild game. So Kuga even further explains it in simple words that Yukihira actually used the meat, the parts of the bear, the smelliest parts of the bear into the cutlet pretty much. And he discerned the limit of preventing the smelliness and easily stepped over the line normal chefs were not even able to cross. And we all know Souma and anyone else in Toutsuki are not normal chefs. They're like gonna go in or go out, either go all in or get the hell out. And Souma's one of those people. And Scylla and Berta's like, why'd you take such a big risk? And Souma explains, well, the smelliness has a powerful potential to lead to umami. You have to go all in or not. That's what Souma was saying. It's either go all in or go all out or go home. And we have to it that, like Souma explains, that that's where the potential for a delicious taste lies. And we have to it that Scylla and Berta re-examine their thoughts about Souma and actually say, like, they thought he was unsophisticated, but, you know, they were wrong. And they say he's a dangerous man who takes big risks to win, and he's wonderful. Of course, like, Alice's father, on the other hand, says, like, he's combined several different parts of the bear into the ground meat, etc. And doing so further emphasized the variance in the strength of the flavors within the cutlet and successfully created a umami gradient. And we had to it that Alice's father says, like, no wonder this is very good right now because he took a giant risk, not to mention he managed to get to a part where he is today, to this point right now. And he even says that he crossed quite a tightrope with that kind of dish with the determination of a chef to endure such risk. And he even burst open and stripped, which shows that Dojima Senpai says, like, dude, this guy who inherits the chest bearings seems to acknowledge Yukihira's dish right now. Just him stripping right now and saying that Yukihira is just saying, like, he acknowledged Yukihira's dish. And we had to it that Kuga Senpai says, I had a feeling I believe in you. Well done. But Soma's like, I wouldn't count everything in yet, because there's only one because Hayama has yet to show his dish right now, and therefore he opens up the lid that had the bear dish in it and ends up glowing from a golden brilliance of light. And this is where Yukihira's like, so how's this gonna go, etc. Yeah. So pretty much without a lot of detail and just simple words of what this episode's about, this is just about, like, Souma and Hayama going against each other, and Souma figuring out why Hayama is part of Central and being part of the Elite 10. And, of course, Souma's match with Hayama and Souma's dish being tasted right now and gets ready to, like, see what the result is after Hayama's dish comes next. And the preview of next episode's called For Whom. And just by the pictures of that episode, it's not going to look so good. That's all I can really tell you. Manga readers will know what I'm talking about. Anime onlys, that's a little like expecting of what's to come. So, well, I'm not going to tell you the result of what's to come exactly, but the picture is already showing it. But it's up to you how you want to picture it or imagine it. So yeah, like I said, simple episode, just Souma and Hayama's match against each other, and Souma finds out why Hayama's reasoning why he joined Central, etc., and ends up taking him on either way. Because you lose, you're expelled. And Souma has no option. And of course, Souma took the biggest risks in the duel, etc. So, anyways, I thought the episode was pretty good. Well done, especially with its like funny moments here and there. And looking forward to the next one. It's gonna be exciting. I can't wait for it. Oh! Okay, so until then, I'll see you guys in my next video. So, I'm Alpha Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!